God's way is marriage. Okay, there's someone here with you permanently that's loyal to you to help you build, and you're taken care of permanently. She doesn't have to worry about, okay, I gotta show my he to get some he, and if I don't get enough he, I gotta work my members overtime. Sons, oh God, yeah, yeah. Welcome back. You back? Back at it? Other crack at it. All right. Today we're gonna be talking about prostitution versus marriage. Why God's way is better. Now, in everything, the devil always tries to pervert what God has designed for permanent perfection. Now, let's start off with prostitution. Actually, let's lay the groundwork here. The devil always wants you to give you he wants to give you short-term gratification at the expense of something precious to you. Short-term gratification at the expense of something precious to you. With food, he tells you eat a bunch of cookies, boy, and what am I saying? Eat a bunch of cookies, cakes, useless things for strength. Of course, pleasure has its place. I mean, even then, you can eat food, healthy foods in a way that is tasteful and pleasurable to you. But short-term gratification at the expense of something precious. You want to get fat, eat a bunch of cakes. Okay? Quick. And you're going to get fat quick, buddy. He wants you to devalue yourself as a woman by sleeping around with people. Say, okay, let me pay you. And that costs you your entire life. You have a shadow or an asterisk. Each time you go into dating, you're afraid to say, dang, I slept with 50 people. Yo, you feel uncomfortable. Any good man is gonna see that as an asterisk. 10 even is stretching. 5, but the devil, again, for the man, as much as actually it does affect the man. It affects the man in a different way. It affects the woman in her body. It affects the man in his resources. Because if we're being honest, it's not looked down upon the man for a reason. But spiritually, you're becoming one flesh with harlots. You're ruining. If you're the head of your family, you're ruining your headship. Now you're ahead of so many spirits. You joining spirits itself. It ain't about one flesh only right now. You joining gods, and this is where Solomon fell too. Now the Bible didn't mention him fallen because he had multiple wives. A lot of people like to say, "Oh, he had so many wives," which I could argue. By default, if he was more watchful, he probably would have had less. He'd have been tired of the process, right? But it was because he married foreign wives. But anyway, devil short term, wants to grab something from you immediately. Just like Esau sold his birthright, he wants you to sell yourself, and he wants you to give up. He wants you to sell yourself as a woman and give up your resources as a man. Make sure you broke, Make sure you ain't advancing. God's way is marriage. Okay, there's someone here with you permanently that's loyal to you to help you build, and you're taken care of permanently. He doesn't have to worry about, okay, I gotta show my he to get some he, and if I don't get enough he, I gotta work my members overtime. While the man, oh shoot, I paid Veronica. Now Veronica increasing her prices. Now I gotta dig into savings to get a piece of, satisfy the members from Veronica. But God's way is, okay, instead of Veronica, here's Simone. Simone wants to stay with you permanently. Take Simone and satisfy your desires, the desires I placed in you permanently. Okay, here's Juliet. You've built up yourself enough. You can get Juliet now. You have Juliet and Simone. Juliet wants to satisfy you for the rest of her life and help you in building. Now you take care of Juliet and make sure she's good for the rest of her life. God's ways are permanent, are eternal. It's not just for it's not just temporary thinking. It's just not a quick fix. It's a permanent fix. So there's a fine line between it, because a lot of people can say, oh, you married someone and you're objectifying them, and basically you have a prostitute. And when people fail to understand, sometimes the man need help in a situation like sex. I don't think there should be a problem with that. If a man needs help with sex and a woman was made as a help suitable for him, if she's happy in providing that for him above all else, then let the woman be. If the man is more comfortable providing financially for the woman, now that doesn't mean that other ways and other means cannot be developed. Okay, communication can be there a bit more, but take a step at a time. We're gonna get to the communication part. If he's more comfortable providing financially for her, and she's okay with it, let it be. Marriage isn't just a one line, hey, you gotta do this, you gotta do this, you gotta do this. That's why there were concubines. Concubines were literally there for sex. So, and concubines were actually wives, biblically. So, all these things are long term. Concubines, wives. These things are long term that God I wouldn't say actually, let's say put in place, because he did give commands concerning multiple wives, but but these are things God has in place. God designed to be within the spiritual realm for things to work and function perfectly and optimally and advance both the man and woman. If I'm being honest, most women spend their lives, at least nowadays, they chase a career and they're left empty after it all. Like, I want to get cats and dogs. Shoot, you wasted money, you wasted all this when We could have followed what we were designed for in the first place. Me, my design is provide. With it, of course, my family first, but there are people around the world that need help. Brothers and sisters around the world that need help, that I need to be able to build up myself for to help. So, as a provider, that's not only who I am, but that's a major part of who I am. That's my first purpose, provider. Of course, my identity is son of God, and the lady's identity is daughter of God. But provider, helper, manager, supervisor, boss, manager. That's how it is. So just a brief video, a little elaboration on the differences. So of course, marriage, biblical marriage is never under the. It didn't have to be under a government because you had to pay a bride price to the father. And the bride price was paid to the father, not to the government. So that doesn't mean you have to have a legal contract. I'm not gonna get too much into that right now, but if you wanted to check that out, go to the biblical marriage versus traditional marriage video. I might have it in the end screen if I got the time, but it's definitely on the channel. Check it out. Alright, Jesus loves you all. Peace be with you. Doses. Yeah.